All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow, and I'm coming to you here this morning because many of you who have ever, spent any ample amount of time of following me, and the things that I speak about and I talk about, you understand my intent. Of course, a lot of you new people, you don't. And so, therefore, it's irrelevant until you've actually done your due diligence and spent some time to understand and see exactly what's going on. Now, with all that said, I've often spoken in the past over and over and over again about the character of a country. You can tell the character of a country by how it treats its poor. And of course, here in the United States of America, and of course, the USA acronym stands for Under Satan's Authority. And if you don't believe me, rather than having some utopia of a world that you envision in your mind up here, open up your eyes and pay attention to the reality that we're literally are all surrounded by, and stop ignoring the facts. But you can tell the character of a country by how it treats its poor. And it's a sad situation, in 2008 when we had the financial collapse. And of course, some of you are unaffected by it. And many of you have been affected by it because you have been forced to move in with relatives, forced to move in with friends, forced to humble yourself, eat a bunch of humble pie. And of course, I remember a few years back when I went to Fresno, California, I saw families pushing grocery carts. And of course, we all know about the news about them sending fire hydrants out, or fire hoses from the fire people, and just mowing them down. I mean, the people have been decimated and literally no hope whatsoever at all. They've been forced to make their own refugee camp because they can't get any assistance from anyone in the country. That's the reason why the Bible, the law of Moses, is superior to all laws that any man could come up with. Because we Israelites, especially among our own people, if we're growing gardens and stuff, we are commanded by the Most High Yah. And of course, we want to do it because we want to obey Him. It's in our heart. We are commanded to actually leave the edges of our field for the poor to be able to glean from, so that there will be no hungry people among us. And of course, a lot of people, they throw out these statements: socialism, fascism, communism, and most people don't understand. They're usually repeaters of what other people say. But while we're complaining about socialism and stuff, many of us, or many of you people out there, have worked in government jobs that is nothing but socialism. I mean, you look at the fire department, the post office, the military, the police department. These are all socialist institutions, every single one of them. And it depends on your level of education, your level of understanding, in order for you to be able to know exactly what's going on. But if you constantly have your mind tainted, and that's the reason why you have to guard your eye and your ear, because if you constantly have your mind tainted by these so-called quote-unquote conservative talk shows, and all across the land on these FM stations, and if you're constantly being deceived by Fox News, CNN, all of these people are owned by the same people, and you pretty much watch them. They all follow the same stories and report the same thing. Understand that many times Fox and CNN, it's all about ratings. And so one of them allegedly play good cop, bad cop, that scenario, if you understand. Good lawyer, bad lawyer scenario. Do you understand? I know it's hard today. But anyway, let me read you an article here. All right. Now, some of the names I'm a little challenged on. So this is the first time I looked down and saw a couple of names I may be challenged on. So forgive me for my vernacular. Okay. I'm sorry that some things are just simply difficult for me to understand. After all, I have been taken from my homeland, and I speak a language that my people never knew until we were brought over here. So just bear with me, okay? And don't take that as a hit or a disparaging comment. Many of you people need to be reminded of the type of character and nature your ancestors has, because if you don't understand and know what they had and what they did, you're going to turn around and actually use the same spirit to oppress many, many people. So listen to me real close. San Jose, California. All right. About 50 muddy souls dragged their meager belongings out of the trash stew, California creek bed Thursday, as police and social workers began clearing away one of the nation's largest homeless encampments, a collection of flimsy tents and plywood shelters in the heart of Silicon Valley. Ooh. The people forced out of the camp, known as the jungle, ended up alongside a busy San Jose road, startling passersby who slowed down to watch. Man. People drive by and look at us like we're circus animals, said a sobbing Nancy Ortega. More than 30 police officers and dozens of construction workers in white hazmat suits joined about 15 social workers in an effort to take apart the treacherous community. Man, look at these wordings. Look at these wordings. That at its peak housed as many as 350 people living in squalor, just a short drive from tech giants Google, Apple, Yahoo, and eBay. Ooh, that's billions of dollars sitting right there, isn't it? Man, Ortega shuddered and clutched her fleece blanket while watching tractors cram couches, tents, blankets, rotten food, and pails of excrement into roaring garbage trucks. It's just junk to everyone else, but to us, that's home. That's our stuff, she said. On a nearby sidewalk, Al's Palaces, a former truck driver who settled into the encampment about 8 months ago, he said he was trying to think of a plan. Now, you have to excuse me here for a moment for my reading in this particular article, because as I read, I'm really trying to meditate. I could just read it right on through, but I'm really trying to meditate because it's hard for me. It's my nature. It's hard for me to grasp that man of any kind, of any sort. Now, I understand that many of you are just literally cold by nature. You don't give a damn about nobody but yourself. That's all there is to it. And everything you do in life is all about you. And that's the reason why you're going to be destroyed. But I tell you, it's utterly amazing when you think about the level that we have declined to in this country. Utterly amazing. Let me go on here for a second. Let me go on. I just grabbed whatever I could because I don't want to go to jail. He said, hey, you be better off in the jail. I mean, this is the thinking right here. Jail nowadays is not too bad. I mean, you may be separated from your family, but if all of you get thrown in jail, at least you have 3 squares and a cot, a roof over your head, and you'll get more dignity being thrown in jail and better treatment in jail. However, the jailers, many of them are mentally challenged, than you would from the so-called civil government out here on the road. It's just a sad situation. That's why I keep saying over and over and over again. Many of you sit by idle and think that these conditions that have hit a lot of these people is never going to come to your backyard because of normacy bias. That's exactly what it is. That's the philosophical term to define your condition today. And it's a bad state of affairs. It's a sad state of affairs, given today's mindset where people have literally been trained as opposed to being educated. And I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Pastor Dow, I am not the institution that has reared you in fairy tales and lies. I am not the institution that has led your mind to believe one way. I'm not the institution that requires you to pay for understanding, to pay for comprehension and knowledge. in order to later on to make you a bunch of workers and slaves and to literally steal your wealth away from you. I am the institution that is educating you in the conditions that we all are facing right now, the world that we live in, and I'm bringing forth a word and message of deliverance for those who have the ears to hear, if you choose to hear it. Because it's a sad state of affairs when we become so cold, hard, cruel, and vindictive towards each other that we can step over somebody and then step on top of them in order for ourselves to get advantage and gain. And it's just a sad, sad situation. It really, truly is. But however, you can tell that the real, true gospel message is really not being preached all across this land. It's not. The message that a lot of these people are preaching is a message that will bring advantage and gain to themselves. It has nothing to do with the physical welfare and the being of a tribe of a particular people set apart. None. And they're not going to preach because, they have to continue to keep feeding the lust of you and continually keep making you think you've arrived, because you will not pick up that Bible and read it for your own self. And the reason why you don't want to read it, because it gives you directions and instructions in order to change. And many of you say, I'm not going to do that, because if I change, then I can't be my own person. You mean your own unregenerated, wicked, abominable mind? Well, no, we all need transforming. It's just the truth. But these people don't have a message of deliverance, because think about it. You're still sitting there in those population centers, and when the rug is swept out from under your feet, meaning you're going to face these conditions and be refugees only later on to have the same government. I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. It ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Yeah, God is blessing the USA. The God of the United States of America is blessing the rich of this country who oppress you through their corporations, their laws, their rules, and their regulations. You listen to me, you'll get direction, divine guidance that's coming from the Most High, and he gets all the credit for all the understanding that I have here in this earth. He gets it, because if it wasn't for him putting this in my spirit, there's no way I could echo and give to you the direction that you need, considering the conditions and the time that we're in. But you don't expect for government subsidiarities, because one day those welfare checks are going to stop. So now is the time for you to start preparing yourselves. It was a long, long time ago. And you seeing that it's just really, truly not working. Let me get on back to this article right here, okay? All right. I just grabbed whatever I could because I don't want to go to jail. He said, standing next to an overloaded shopping cart stuffed with dirty plastic bags. For months, social workers have been trying to house camp residents. And 4 days earlier, they were warned that they had until dawn, Thursday, to leave or face arrest for trespassing. Still, city officials estimated about 60 people remained at the filthy site when clean out day came. Now, you see, the problem is, people, I don't care whether you be rich or poor, if you don't have the ears to hear, you won't hear. See, what your mistake is you're in the city, and then you build a refugee camp in the city, when Pastor Dow's been telling you for 20 years to get out of the city. Get out of the city. You're not going to find any help or any life or substance in that city. You're better off over here with a small little camping trailer out here parked next to a creek with no electricity, with a rifle, the way you could actually hunt and fish and fend for your life, because it's your right. But I'm telling you, this is getting bad. This is getting really bad. And look. Why? What do they care about? I don't believe. Anyway. After a rainy night, skies clear Thursday, and one person after another in varying states of mental clarity and sobriety dragged their belongings in suitcases, shopping carts, and on bicycles out of the camp through ankle-deep sludge. By mid-morning, dozens had reached the sidewalk, abandoning most of their possessions. You know, I remember 25 years ago, I said that the United States of America is going to become a third world country. And you people out of country that's seeking to come here to get citizenship, you got it all backwards. You're looking at the commercials and you're looking at the image that America's trying to paint, but I assure you that we are in a serious decline, and we're surpassing Rome as far as falling. We're skydiving, and we're probably about 800 feet closer to the ground than Rome ever was at this particular junction in time. It's a sad situation. But some remain in the slum. View gallery. And I'm going to include the link down below so you can view this for yourself, okay? Homeless camp cleaned out in Silicon Valley. The words, "Welcome to the jungle." That's a song sung by Guns N' Roses. I remember that in the day. Man. Are scribed on the post of a flooded dwelling in Silicon Valley. Valentine Cortez, who said he was a journeyman construction worker, said he had no plans to leave his makeshift shelter built into a steep, muddy slope. I don't know why people got all chaotic today, he said. We don't have to go. Asked about the warning that he could be jailed, Cortez shrugged a pet, a 6 weeks old puppy in his palm, and said, "Then I guess I'll be arrested." Why? Because he has nothing to lose. He has literally nothing to lose. Look at it. Dogs and cats still roam the square mile camp. Some of them pets, others wild. Rats hop together through the muck. Man, I tell you, this is some deplorable, and I mean deplorable conditions right here. And soon diseases are going to fester and come in. You know, I know many of you people hate history, but, there's a lot of diseases that you Europeans used to carry. And it wasn't until the Moors came up there and educated you about you don't need to have your chickens and your dogs and your cats and your and everything, your pets, sitting in here, running through the house, living in a house, sleeping in a house just like you are. You need to put them outside. They're animals and stuff, because that's the reason why you keep dying for all these diseases, because you were living like animals. And it took the Moors to come up from the land of Shem to educate you in how to live. And I know that every time, why is it that today when I bring out actual factual truth of history, why is it that today that there's a spirit and an undertone today that says that Pastor Dowell is a racist? Tell you what, you go ahead and give place to that spirit you want to, and let's see where your conditions end up at. All right, how about that? A few dozen protesters gather at the site, holding signs reading "Homeless people matter," and they do matter, and stand with the jungle. The encampment stands in stark contrast to the surrounding valley, a region that leads the country in job growth, income, and venture capital. Well, because, after all, it's a blot on them. We got to get rid of this place. And I promise you that probably the corporations are probably feeding the Gestapo, these police department, these social workers, because, we have to remove this eyesore from us, because, we do want our conscience clear, because our conscience does get hit a little bit, and some people's conscience have become seared today, and they can't fathom sitting up there looking at these deplorable conditions that these people are in. So what we have to do is remove these cursed people from our eyesight, so we can feel better about ourselves. So when we go to our jobs and making all these hundreds of thousands of dollars every year and everything, we can feel good. So we have to create an environment, a utopia, a home front. But as long as we have this sore in front of us, it's going to continually remind us of how we as a people are falling short. So what I need to do is get rid of them. So we'll give you hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in order to take care of his eyesore, so we can continue to prosper in our Silicon Valley here. All right. Patterson says he liked the jungle better than the streets because people would bring food and police didn't bother the residents. Even a job wouldn't give me a house because housing prices are so high, he said. You know, I'm sorry that I keep on and on and on and on stopping in this video, but you have to bear with me. If you would have followed my instructions, if you would have came across me, maybe the Most High, it hadn't led you to me, but, you know, if you would have followed my instruction, and if you would have came across me, Pastor Dow, some time ago, and if you would have done what I said, you would not be in this condition right now, because by now, whether it's just a shelter to be able to keep you warm from the elements and stuff, you would have had direction, knowledge, and understanding going forward. And you would not be in these conditions because you would have prepared yourself. But, you know, if you're going to be wise, you're going to have to listen to a wise man, because if you're going to depend on this federal government or any form of government to take care of you, those days are over. I mean, well over 48% of Americans are literally on some type of food stamp or government subsidiarity. And you cannot continue to prosper as a nation with this type of environment. It's just very unhealthy. You know, we depend on, the country does, depend on money coming from the taxpayers, trillions of dollars a year. I think it's $3 or $4 trillion a year in order to fund the whole entire economy. And that money is not coming in. That's why we have quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2, quantitative easing 3, and number 4, I guarantee they probably already done it. They just hadn't put it out there for the public eye to see. That's why we're printing money. In other words, we are devaluing the currency. Have you not realized, or is there something hasn't clicked in your head up here? Have you not realized that we as a people, we do not carry money in our pockets or on our purse? We don't have it with us today. We have paper and ironclad slugs. And the only reason why we call it money, because it is a medium of exchange in order for us to get goods and services. But I still, go back and look at my silver videos while I explain something to you. I mean, it says $1 US. You take $1 and try to go buy what that 1 ounce silver coin can buy, even still today with the dismal, manipulated prices of this system. Anyway, I ain't got time to teach you on that. Go educate yourself. The information is there. Where did I leave off at? Let me see. Officials found shelter for about 10 residents Thursday, says San Jose homeless response manager Ray Branson. Many more refused the city's offers concerning sites concerning about safety in homeless shelters. They needed to stay with pets and their dislike of sobriety rules. Ooh. Several homeless assistance groups also stepped in to help. Home First, the largest provider to homeless people in Santa Clara County, set aside 27 beds at a nearby shelter. Another 50 beds are open in a separate cold weather shelter. This feels terrible, said Jenny Nicholas, Home's First Chief Executive Officer. Her voice breaking. People are up to their calves in the mud, dragging their stuff into the streets. San Jose has spent more than $4 million over the last year and a half to solve problems at the encampment, and has housed some 135 people from the site, but it's become increasingly polluted and dangerous. You could put $4 million in stupid people's hands and still not going to get any solutions because they don't know what they're doing. You know, one man with wisdom can save a whole entire city. One man. So it's like, you know, that understanding has perished in his land. Wisdom has perished in his land. I'm telling you, anyway. In the last month, one camp resident tried to strangle someone with a cord of wire. Another was nearly beaten to death with a hammer. And state water regulators, looks like the devil done came in now, because the thief coming out but to steal, kill, and destroy. And when you have challenges like that, people ain't got nothing to lose, they lose it. So the devil is now done stepped in, basically. The state water regulators are demanding that polluted Coyote Creek, which cuts through the middle, get cleaned out. Personal property confiscated Thursday was to be stored for 90 days before being disposed of in March. The last time officials cleared out the camp was in May of 2012, when about 150 people were sent away. But this time, Branson said that they will conduct regular patrol to keep anyone from returning. Dismantling the jungle is a massive job. It will take several days to haul out tons of waste and debris. Heavy machinery will be used to fill the excavated areas where people had been living underground. For some, the sudden abandonment of so many impoverished homes was a bonanza. Dave Nuglin, I guess that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, muttered to himself as he picked through the trash heaps, pausing to wash some items in an aluminum foil bin. I wait for somebody to leave, Nugent said, and then everything is mine. Wow. Wow. What do you say? What do you say? Wow. Hey. You just can't get people to come together, can you? Because everybody believes they're the chief and nobody wants to be the Indians. It's the problem that we're having in this society. Bottom line, you recognize, if you refuse to recognize who's a wise man and who has understanding for us going forward, you're finished.